To bring in former White House Chief of Staff under President Obama, Bill Daley. Bill, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining the conversation this morning.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for having me.
What's your take on the fact that on a night that is such an important speech for President Obama, you had the Iranians capture these 10 sailors? And I mean, was that taunting the president? Is that taunting America? And also, what's your take on the fact that the president didn't even mention it when, in fact, these sailors were behind bars in Iran?
Right. My guess is when the facts come out, there was some sort of, at least there was speculation, there was a mechanical problem with their boats. Obviously, the president was very confident, as Secretary of State Kerry had said before the State of the Union, that they had been assured by the Iranian government they were going to be released, and they were. So to overreact and in the State of the Union lay out some great fear over these when the sailors' lives went at that point, they were confident that they were going to be released, I think was the right thing to do. I think it points out that I know we all want immediate sort of answers and reaction, but sometimes, and having spent time in the White House, a president's got to be calm, cool. If he understands the facts, then wait and not overreact. And I think in today's world, lots of people jump at conclusions. So to take any time in the State of the Union and raise the fear of the American people that somehow these 10 lives were at risk when they were very confident that they weren't, would have been the wrong thing to do for sure. And that points out
Anthony?
how words
ahead,
matter and how people in the political system today, and obviously if you get as far as the White House, have got to be a little cooler than the primaries and the political system dictates today. You got to be in control. And I think the president did it absolutely right on not talking about those sailors at that point. Now, if he had evidence that somehow there was more to this, then it would have been a very different situation. So it was I felt very good and confident that it wasn't.
I want to switch topics for a second. Why do you think the president went to the Donald Trump situation and started to dig at him a little bit? Didn't mention his name, but it was certainly a dig at him.
Right.
Why do you think they put that in his speech? Or why did he want it in his speech?
Well, look at Donald Trump, and what Donald Trump is saying, and saying rather aggressively, is dominating the political system right now. It is moving political, not only polls, it is moving the body politic, at least in the Republican Party right now. So to ignore what's going on in the real world of politics that affects governing, and, you know, in today's world, as you know better than anyone, Anthony, that words spread around the world immediately, they affect our ability and how we're viewed around the world. So I think for him to be in some la-la land of ignoring what's going on in the body politic of America would have been a disservice to the system. So Trump, you know, like it or not,
don't you think it makes Donald Trump even that much more powerful? I mean, seriously, when you've got the president alluding to Donald Trump, and then you've got, you know, Nikki Haley talking about Donald Trump, it just gives Donald Trump more power, no?
Well, but ignoring him right now would be ridiculous because he is driving. He's the front runner, at least in most of the polls nationally, for the one party other than the Democrat that's going to nominate someone that more likely than not will be one of the two finalists in the presidential election in less than a year. So I think, look, like it or not, as I say, that he's dominating the system right now.
Yeah, for sure. He says something, and the media talks about it.
Bill, do you like it? Do you like that he's dominating the system?
No, I don't. To be honest with you, I think it's a sad commentary on where we're going. I'm a Democrat, so I'm not going to comment on your party as you have commented on your article today about its prospects. But I think the anger, the one thing that I think really, and I know how divided we all are, obviously, but I think the president tried to put an optimistic face on things and a positive spin. You know, everybody quotes Ronald Reagan, talks about Ronald Reagan. He was always upbeat. He was always positive. Forget what was going on in the world at the time. Forget the fact that we had terrible deficits at the time. Russia was a real power at the time, not just militarily, but globally. But yet Ronald Reagan had the ability to be very positive. The president, I like the fact that he said, you know, and in primaries, again, I get it. I understand you've got to go to a base and you've got to try to find a few voters, not a lot of voters like you do in a general election. But Our economy is strong. We know this. Look at the rest of the world. Could it be better? Absolutely. Are we all trying to make it better? Yes. Are we under threat by terrorism? Yes, we are. But we are still the country that has more resources and the ability to stand up to that. And I think the fact that we've not had a major terrorist action in this country. Yes, we've had terrorist actions, but nothing organized like we've seen directed in Paris or other parts of the world. And that's a testament to our intelligence, our military, our police agencies. So we can't get so fearful of either the economy or what's going on in the rest of the world that we lose our identity. We lose what makes us special.
Yeah.